And she raised some really interesting points that more people believe in the supernatural over seeking treatment for mental health. So then my next person was Erin Taylor with A Haunted Mind, and she really was definitely on the more scientific end, which is where we normally follow. And she was talking about the paranormal and mental health. And she has studied a lot of this over the years. She's a licensed mental health therapist in Colorado with close to 20 years of mental health community experience. And she's been exploring the paranormal formally since 2013. It's a very interesting subject that I think, because I have found that, I have always wondered that people who suffer from mental illness, especially schizophrenia, was always kind of what kind of trips me up sometimes. And I was always wondering if maybe people aren't mentally ill, but they are hearing other dimensions that most of us can't. I mean, obviously we talk about the ghost world being on, in a different dimension or a different place or venue or whatnot. And I've always wondered, like this. And it was really nice to see someone who was talking about this and her making the correlation between the paranormal and the mental health. And she raised some really interesting points that more people believe in the supernatural over seeking treatment for mental health. And she also kind of got into the history of the mental health and how they go dating way back about how, they would drill a hole in your head, 100, 200 years ago, or bloodletting or purging, and about the asylums and the workhouses. And then she kind of went on to talk about the birth of the spiritual movement. She talked about how they would treat various mental illnesses, like insulin-induced comas, electroconvulsive therapy, lobotomies, talk therapy, psychotherapy. And she kind of went through a lot of the different types of mental illnesses, like major depressive disorder, bipolar, schizophrenia, hallucinations, delusions, and post-traumatic stress. And that there has been links made between paranormal and trauma, which we have discussed, the boys have discussed before about, haunted people syndrome, or that once you open yourself up, you become open, you can't ever completely close that down. And she also talked about dissociation disease, which there's a large number of people who they seem to think has dissociation, has been correlated to actually alien abductees. I mean, how crazy is that?